We are just about ready to get started. We have almost every single one of our candidates here, and we're just excited to have you all here. This is the Electric Auto Association Meet the Board candidates. And today is also the day for voting, and we'll be talking to you a little bit about that. You'll be getting an email shortly. But we're just going to go ahead and jump in because we have 17 candidates, and this is the most that we've ever had for running for the board. And right now we have 3 board positions open, so we're really excited about that. And
sorry, April, I muted all and I didn't think it would mute the host, but it did.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, so we are sent out an email requesting nominations. We've done some blog posts, so we try and get the word out as best we can when we do have our positions open. And so each year now, our election cycle will run from about our board cycle will run from January to December, and then we'll do our elections at the end of the year so that the board can hit the ground running in January, which is really exciting. Nominations will open today and they'll close at the end of the month, so we'll have plenty of time to get our 3 new board members onboarded. And I want to give a huge shout out to our current national board. They have put in a lot of work this year. The board terms are 3 years, so 3 of the folks here will be rolling off, and it's just really excited to see all the things that they have been accomplishing, whether it's adding new technology systems to make our board more efficient, streamlining the website or our communications, whether it's fundraising, getting new sponsors, which they've done an incredible job at, increasing our membership to one of the highest that it's been, helping us with compliance, helping us with finance, you name it. So it's just really exciting. Also on the policy side, and then we do have a big focus as well on diversity. So how are we ensuring that it doesn't matter whether or not you drive an electric car, even if you're just curious about it, that you're learning about electric vehicles if you're interested in them. And then this board really just exists to help our 100 chapters. So thank you again to the board for everything that you're doing. And then just in case there are some that are joining us that don't know much about the Electric Auto Association, we're North America's leading volunteer organization. We accelerate EV adoption, and then we also advocate for EV adoption. We're also the largest consumer-facing grassroots organization. So what does that mean? For me personally, I work in the electric vehicle industry, and I'm on a lot of trade organizations or industry organizations, but this is really the one organization where you're talking one-on-one to someone about their electric vehicle and really working on that word of mouth, because we found that to be one of the most effective ways to get people interested in electric vehicles. And the organization is decades old, which is very exciting. And we have thousands of volunteers right now. Our members tend to be either the EV curious, someone who, you know, they're thinking about going electric, they're not really sure. Could be new EV drivers, drivers with renewing leases, or longtime EV drivers. It's really the whole gamut. And the chapters are our focus. So the board is important because we help support the chapters and everything that they do. We sort of act as that group in the background, giving them the tools and the training and everything that they need. And again, talking one-on-one about the benefits of electric vehicles is what they're out there doing, hosting virtual meetings or, you know, doing their social media, now a lot more in-person meetings, which is exciting. And if you're interested to find your local chapter, you can visit electricauto.org and do that. So let's get into it. I am going to stop sharing my screen for a second because I'd like to go ahead and introduce the candidates now. And if each candidate, and I will go ahead and say your name, but if each candidate can introduce yourself, say your name, state, and the chapter that you're most closely associated with. And I'll stop sharing there. So let's go ahead and we will start. I'm gonna, let's see, by first name, I'm gonna work backwards from the list, and we'll start with Zach Hankins.
Okay, that never happened in school. It was always alphabetical order.
See?
And I was always the basic one. So
I shocked you.
That's like, okay. So hi everyone, Zach Hankins. I am at heart an EV enthusiast, really a transportation enthusiast of all kinds, including like e-bikes, electric motorcycles, and the ilk. Have been driving an electric car in some form since 2013. I've gone through a couple leases. We're in a plug-in minivan now, which suits us because we have some foster kiddos. And we only need one car. I'm in the Portland, Oregon area, and I've done the most work with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association as well as the Seattle Electric Vehicle Association, helping them both, even before I was working in the EV industry. This goes back.
All right, so I'm going to stop you there, Zach, so we can move on to the rest. Thanks. All right, Wade Sewell, your name, where you live, and the chapter that you're most closely associated with. Wade, are you there? Wade?
Yep, I'm here. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Wade is muted. Wade, you have.
Yeah, I'm muted. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Wade, and I live in Maryland.
Can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay. So I live in Maryland, just north of Baltimore, and I am most closely affiliated with the Washington, D.C. Metro Group.
Awesome. And Tracy Smiley.
Tracy Smiley here, coming from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. They're rapidly getting cooler, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I'll admit I'm pretty new to the association. My closest chapter is in Ottawa, which is still about a 6-hour drive from where I am here in Toronto. So I'm hoping maybe can change that with some more engagement.
Great, thanks. Sterling Camp.
Hi, I'm Sterling Camp. I'm in Houston, Texas. I'm most closely associated with the Houston EAA. And I've been a EV owner for a decade.
Great, thanks. Michael Yarrett.
Hey everyone, I recently moved from Kentucky to California, and so I'm mostly associated with the San Diego chapter.
Great. Mark Smith, then Mark Marchioli.
Hi all, I'm Mark Smith. I'm here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, associated with the Triad EV Association of North Carolina, and a light EV owner since 1969. That's 52 years.
Wow. Mark Marchioli.
There we go. Mark, I have been involved with a lot of things in the mechanical world. I live in Pennsylvania, so I'm associated with the Murraysville, PA chapter, I guess. I've been to several of their meetings and shown lots of people about electric autos. I drive electric auto and drove hybrids for a long time. So,
great.
Is it short enough?
Yeah, Mark Geller.
Hi there, EV driver since 2001, live in San Francisco and affiliated with the Golden Gate Electric Vehicle Association.
Great, thanks, Mark. Julie Sparcio.
Hi, my name's Julie, and moved here a year ago from New York to Westlake Village, California, and I think I'm a member of the SoCal chapter. And am a new EV owner since the beginning of this year.
Great. And Jonathan Macias.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jonathan Macias, and I am joining from El Paso, Texas, which is over here on the US-Mexican border in far west Texas. And the chapter I would work most with is the chapter I founded, which is the Rio Grande Electric Auto Association. But of late, I've been doing some volunteer work with the San Diego chapter.
Okay. Joe Helger.
Hello, I'm Joe Helger. I'm coming to you from Tucson, Arizona. where I'm most affiliated with the Tucson Electric Vehicle Association. But when I'm in the Midwest, then I hang out with the West Michigan EV and plug-in enthusiasts. And it's interesting to note the differences between Midwestern views on EV and more West Coast kind of views.
Great, thank you. Gerald Schultz.
Hello, everyone. Gerald Schultz from Golden, Colorado, which is about 20 minutes west of Denver. And I associate with the drag racing chapter.
Great. And Frederick Walker.
Frederick Walker. I live in the tri-state area of Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia. And I'm the secretary of the West Virginia Electric Auto Association, and I drive a Chevy Bolt.
Dale Miller.
Hi, Dale Miller. I live in San Rafael, California, which is in the San Francisco Bay Area. And my chapter is the Golden Gate Electric Vehicle Association.
Great. And then Chuck Rotter, Yella Molly, have you joined us? I'm not sure that I'm seeing you on here. Okay. Angie Rodriguez.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Angie Rodriguez, and I'm calling from El Paso, Texas, and Las Cruces, New Mexico area. I'm affiliated with Rio Grande Electric Auto Association that spans over 2 states. And I have been an EV driver, enthusiast, and advocate for many years. And I'm also a project manager of transportation electrification at a local electric utility company.
Great, thank you. And Alan Morgan, last but not least.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Alan Morgan. I actually live in El Paso, Texas as well, right on the border with New Mexico. And I am associated with the Rio Grande chapter as well.
Fantastic, great. Well, thank you so much for joining and also participating, because we know that by you participating as a nominee that you are aware it's a 3-year commitment, and again that the support that we provide the chapters is essential to how our organization grows, because they really are our heartbeat, as I have said before. And then we are also, just for those that don't know, I know that the nominees know, but we're a working board because we're an all volunteer board. So that means that we jump in and we get our hands dirty and we meet once a month. We also participate in committees. I listed off a few of those committees before, but again, it's just a really strong working board that's an all volunteer board. So we're just really happy to have your passion and commitment and time that you're dedicated to us. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time. So just to give you a quick high flyover on how this will work, we already did the candidate introductions. We're going to ask each candidate one question and they'll have 2 minutes to answer. And then Terry is going to give them the 10-second limit and then to let them know. And then we will have to cut you off at 2 minutes if you go over, but you will have 2 minutes to answer. This session's being recorded, so we're going to go ahead and post it online. And then the voting ballots are being sent via email to you as soon as this meeting concludes. So we'll go ahead and jump in. And I have the list of candidates here, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is stop sharing my screen. So the first half of candidates, we're going to ask one particular question. Then the second half of candidates that you see on the right-hand side, we'll ask a different question just so that we have some variety as to responses there. So is there a question? No? Okay. And then just go ahead and mute your phone or your computer if you are not speaking. And so first we'll go ahead and start with Alan. And Alan, our question to you is what do you see for the future of the Electric Auto Association? I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen before you answer that. So I'll repeat that again. So Alan, the question is, what do you see for the future of the Electric Auto Association?
As far as the future of the Electric Auto Association, I envision it as being the voice of the electric vehicle industry, as well as the community itself, being able to advocate for electric vehicles and technology and in the infrastructure and support, much like you would see with a lot of the other, trade organizations like SEIA and, things like that. So I do see the Electric Vehicle Association becoming a very integral part in the growth of the electric vehicle industry.
April, you're muted.
April, you're muted.
All right. So next we're going to go to Angie. And Angie, the same question to you. So what do you see for the future of the Electric Auto Association?
Thank you, April, and thank you for having me, everybody. So I see three things for the future of Electric Auto Association. I see that this organization is essential to continue improving customer education and awareness of electric vehicles, the benefits that they can bring, but also developing tools that can help different entities to do an evaluation whether or not EV is right for them, especially for medium and heavy duty vehicles. I think organization has done a great job, advertising and promoting benefits of light duty vehicles, but there's still some things that, school districts, they have a lot of questions whether or not an electric school bus is good for them. The home builders have questions whether or not they should start building homes that are EV ready. A lot of questions are coming from semi trucks and other industries. So I think providing tools to these entities is essential, as well as advocating on the policy side. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Angie. Dale, we're going to go to you next. Dale Miller.
I believe the Electric Auto Association has a tremendous opportunity to make an even greater difference than before. With the publicity of electric vehicles, climate change, the climate crisis coming out of COP26, all of the changes we see in terms of the more vehicles, more opportunities for charging, and we can serve with our experience as the experts in our communities as well as nationwide. I think that a lot of our elected officials are looking for information to move forward with their climate policies, and we can serve and help to promote those policies. I think as a board member, I believe we have an opportunity to really support the chapters in this work.
Great. Thank you, Dale. Frederick Walker, you are next.
I think we have some different jobs in front of us. I think we have to work to not be an elitist organization. So many people think, there's a parking space for a low energy or high energy vehicle, high efficiency vehicle. We've got to get away from that. I think that we ought to not have everyone want to own an EV, but everyone who does own one to never regret that decision. Because of that, I see a future for the EAA in the area of education. We have to define our audiences. Certainly one of them is legislators, one of them is public, another one is students. We need to work closely with the schools to start preparing everyone for an electric future. I also would like to see the EAA or EVA, as we may be called.
10 seconds.
Not necessarily have chapters that are defined by state lines, but by regions. Thank you.
Thank you, Frederick. Now we'll go to Gerald Schultz.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for your consideration. This association has a tremendous potential to be a leader in the dissemination of information that cross bridges various entities, various industries, various vendors, various uses of renewable energy. For example, what we will see in the future will be adaptation of our electric vehicles for bi-directional charging with our houses, with our power walls. We will see appliances in our buildings trading energy with each other. Fundamentally, we can help communicate and generate a lot more
10 seconds.
Community interest to achieve our goals. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And now we'll move to Joe Helger. And you're on mute, Joe.
Got it. I think the future for EAA is to move from an organization that supported basically early adopters and pioneers, which I think constitutes about 10% of the whole populace. We have to move towards two more additional segments. One is those that are only oriented to self-interest, saving money. And secondly, those that are concerned with climate change and the environment. And the last larger 50%, I think, of our target market are the mainstream people that for the most part are uninformed. I mean, there's some surveys saying that up to 50% of people think that electric vehicles, all of them, have tailpipes. And we have to fight that as a major category. So I think the move here, in summary, is to go from early adopters and pioneers to the mainstream.
10 seconds.
Great, thank you. All right, and then last in this first list of folks for our first question is Jonathan Macias.
Thank you so much, April. So I agree with what Joseph and Frederick have said, but I think there's already a template for what the future of EVA EAA is. And that's what we are doing with the Rio Grande Electric Auto Association. And it's to take the ideas of what have been done previously with the EVA at the national and international level and transitioning that for opportunities for growth. And what I mean by that is that we've developed a template with Rio Grande to where we're being inclusive, not only with local utilities, as well as working with the providers for solar so that we have a full ecosystem for how we are getting the word out and what we're supposed to doing ultimately for energy independence. And also being a little bit more inclusive and thinking about it from the perspective of social equity, especially if we see some of these vehicles that are a much easier entry price for those that are living on fixed incomes or any kind of like limited incomes such as our senior citizen population. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Great. And so now we'll transition over to our second question. And the first person who will answer this question, and again, we're going in alphabetical order by first name, is Julie Sparacio. And the question is, what would you like to accomplish while on the Electric Auto Association board?
I think what I would like to accomplish is really helping the consumer overall better understand what owning or leasing an EV is all about. I think there's a lot of things that come up, being in the industry this year that not really surprised me, but there's still a lot of elements that relate to the basic things. Someone will go in to buy a car and really not understand the difference between a level 1 and level 2, for example, and really trying to understand the costs and the rebates and there's a lot of apprehension out there. So I think an organization like this can be extremely powerful to help people feel more at ease about what it means to be an EV owner. One of the big ones is the range anxiety. So I think it's a great opportunity to make a difference.
Great, thank you. And next to answer that question, Mark Geller. What would you like to accomplish while on the Electric Auto Association board?
Well, one of the things that I think I would like to see us and I would like to help accomplish is to make us a more prominent voice for policy, both locally, and most importantly, locally through the chapters, I think, and perhaps nationally. I think that the strength of the EAA is the chapters and the grassroots. and that we know how this stuff works and can work best for people. And that our voice needs to be more prominent. Whereas right now, what we often see is, for example, electric vehicle charging companies defining what's needed and how it should be done. And I think very often drivers know that, in fact, they've got an interest that's a little bit different from ours. Their interest is often,
10 seconds.
Corporate profit interest, and we are solely interested in moving the movement forward.
Thank you, Mark. Marchioli.
We unmute. Okay. I think it's a good question because the paradigm is strange. You know, we're working from the ICE vehicles to electric vehicles and trying to help people understand what's going on and how to manipulate that kind of a vehicle in their world. And I think that the Electric Automobile Association, or however, EAA, however we're going to call it, really has a responsibility to help people understand what an electric automobile brings to them and how they can use it in their environment. Because I run into people all the time that they don't even understand that the only thing that requires for my car is windshield washer fluid and tires. And they're driving these other cars they have to take to the dealerships, and they don't really see the investment is in the front end and they get the advantage in the long end. So I think we could help them understand that.
Thank you, Mark. And now we'll move to Mark Smith. And the question is, what would you like to accomplish while on the Electric Auto Association board?
Thank you, April. Thank you all for attending live or on replay. I believe that our board has an opportunity, especially as moving from the Electric Auto Association to Electric Vehicle Association, to promote a wider variety of electric vehicles. There are a large number of light electric vehicle types. In fact, there are more light electric vehicles sold each year than Teslas. And that's an area where I think we can move into. I would like to enable the chapters really to find their voice and find their sweet spot and where they can engage the public in their area. I've been working on tools and techniques for decades that help teams do exactly that as part of my IT work over the years. So thank you very much, and look forward to working with you all in the future.
Great, thank you so much. All right, next up is Michael Yared.
Hi, everyone. What I'd like to accomplish while on the EA board would be, or EVA board, would be that I really want to build a dashboard. And for me personally, I want to leverage technology to help get our voice out there. And so I think by working with local chapters and asking them questions and listening to them, you know, having seen the differences of the markets in Kentucky for California, for instance, I think we can give local chapters the tools they need to be successful in their own market, but also we can help them measure their impact. And if we compile that data, bring everyone's impact back together into a single place, this could be a dashboard that we share publicly with the whole world. And we can show what is going on in North America, what are we doing to help promote our mission? But more importantly, it becomes a tool that journalists will cite that will help people get over their fears of adoption. And I think it'll help prospective buyers across the board.
Thank you, Michael. Sterling Camp, what would you like to accomplish while on the Electric Auto Association board?
Hi, and thanks for letting us all get together and share our ideas. I think we're in really good hands for the future. I would like to see the board direct the local groups to create talent pools that we can use to create committees of like-minded people or people with similar experiences that we can use to target groups and just find out who our people are. It'd be good for us to provide quarterly EV adoption reports, especially emphasizing used vehicles. I think that's the key component of adoption, is when it's a robust EV used sales. We could like to see, and thank you very much. for the opportunity to work with the board.
Thank you, Sterling. All right, next up is Tracy Smiley.
Hey, everybody. So I guess first, the obvious thing for me, I think if you look at where we all come from, I'd like to see you guys up here in Canada, right? There's two branches here in Canada right now, none in Toronto, which is the largest population center here in Canada, about 6 million people in the greater Toronto area. So I'd love to see some growth here, north of the border to complement the great work you folks are doing over in the US. Cars don't care what country they belong to. Cars care where they can drive. And there's all sorts of traffic across the border once we open up, of course. So hopefully we can start getting some of your great work you're doing over here in Canada. I'd love to help support that. The other piece, of course, I think locally here in Toronto, I can say the government needs help to help support adoption. Like if picking an example, when I got my first EV 5 years ago, there were 2 electric cars in my little neighborhood. It's grown to about 20 in the last 5 years. The city of Toronto started a pilot program for putting EV chargers for city parking. And in 5 years, they've installed 4. You understand they need help to grow, right? And hopefully we can help support that here locally.
Great, thank you, Tracy. Next up is Wade Sewell.
Yeah, hello everyone. So I think this question is best framed by putting in context of what the next 3 years will bring. It definitely is going to be an exciting time for electric vehicles as a myriad of new offerings come online. But not only will those offerings be, as far as diversity goes, of electric vehicles, but it will also be in sheer numbers. So those next 3 years, takes us to 2025, which is the year that some auto manufacturers and countries have said that they will phase out the sale of internal combustion engines vehicles. So the next 3 years is going to be all about scale and scale of electric vehicles on the road, scale of charging infrastructure. And I think our role will be to identify those pain points and focus on them to help the adoption of electric vehicles.
All right, thank you, Wade. And last but not least, Zach Hankins. So what would you like to accomplish while on the Electric Auto Association board?
Thanks, April. It's a good question. And in general, I think just the single-mindedness of accelerate adoption of EV across the board. I think that EAA can do that by creating additional value for EAA members. I think there's some lessons we can learn about from the Norwegian Auto Association, but then also help resource, grow, activate, and enable our chapters. And I think there's lessons that can be learned from other chapter organizations that have done that successfully, because it's chapters that are building community and often are the first one to engage with the friends, neighbors, who we are hoping that are going to be considering a plug-in vehicle in the future.
Great, thank you so much. And all right, let's give a round of applause to our nominees. So thank you so much for joining us and participating in this. And I am going to go ahead and share my screen for just a second. So again, these are the members who participated, and again, it's the most that we've ever had participate, especially for 3 positions for our board. So we're just couldn't be more thrilled at the participation, just from the standpoint of what that tells us is that, the Electric Auto Association is an organization that a lot of people want to be a part of, and they see this organization going places, and they want to be a part of that. And I think that's really exciting. This is a snapshot of our blog, and on our blog we do have a blog post. Now it lists all of our nominees' names, their backgrounds, some bios, they've answered some questions, talks about what they currently do. So I would strongly encourage you to also take a look at that before placing your vote tonight. And also, don't wait to participate. So, and this also goes for the nominees as well. And that is join one of our committees that we have, and you can start being effective today. So anyone can join our national committees, and we encourage you to do that. And our committees include membership and chapter development. So where we're actually, working with members to help grow the adoption of our membership, and then also working with our chapters to help develop our chapters, to help train them, to help resource them, and help them grow as well. And again, we have 100 of those, which is really exciting. We have our fundraising committee that works on sponsorships and grants and looking for funding to help resource our chapters. Our communications committee, which includes social media, marketing, our website, you name it, all of those things underneath that communications umbrella. We also have our policy committee. So looking at what is effective from not only a federal level, but what are our current chapters, what questions do they have about policy, and how can we arm them with the tools so that they can go and they can respond to the key electric vehicle or charging infrastructure policies that are really close to their members' hearts in their local communities, because what may be a focus for one may not be a focus for another, or what maybe was a focus for one, maybe another one is already is starting to see now that bubble up, and so they can all learn from each other. So it's helping to connect those dots. And we also have a finance committee, and which is pretty self-explanatory as to focusing on our finances. So, all right. But thank you all so much for attending. And again, I do want to give a big shout out to the Electric Auto Association board and all of the work and effort that they just put into the Electric Auto Association every day and in supporting our chapters. And then a huge shout out to our chapters. I mean, they are the ones that are the boots on the ground and on the street. And if National Drive Electric Week was any indication as to just the momentum that we're going to be seeing over the next year or more, it's really, really exciting, really exciting. And so we're glad that you're on this ride with us, and you will be getting your email probably. I think we're going to send that out in about the next half hour or 45 minutes. So you should see that show up. If you don't get it, check your spam folder. And then if not, you can just shoot us an email either at president or secretary at electricauto.org. So thanks again. And we'll see you soon. Elections end at the end of November. So we will know in early December who those 3 new board members are. But thank you so much all.